Pretty hard to beat the handiwork of God in the beauty of nature. And we want to take you now on a story that reminds us the importance of being good stewards of the environment. We've been learning with A Rocha. They are an environmental charity that we love, and we have a great story that's come to us via Walter Loewen. He's 89 years old and energetic about the beauty of nature. In fact, Walter and his wife Eleanor spent many happy hours in nature, and they have decided that the best way to honor their 66-year marriage, to remember Ellie's legacy, is to gift their property to A Rocha, so people like you and I, universities, communities, all of us could learn from this beautiful area. We're going to take you to a property just east of Winnipeg, actually an hour and a half east of Winnipeg, about an hour south of the Ontario border, East Braintree, and take a look at the ecosystem underway there.
We started from ground zero. We brought in the first instruments from Japan in 1957. When we had to sell to the company in Japan in 1973, it was the largest music distributor in Canada. The Yamaha company then dominated the music scene in Canada from the very start when we started in 1957. When we got out of the business after a while, I guess I could have retired, but that wasn't a word that I understood. My parents came from a background where they honored the land. It was God's creation, and although they came over here as refugees, and we couldn't afford anything, but nevertheless, as we grew into owning a summer cottage and a home in the city and so on, you grew up with being environmentally aware. I guess I inherited this somewhat from my parents, but the biggest influence had to be Ellie. She was the inspiration that you couldn't possibly describe, the inspiration she provided for me, not only in this realm, but when we were in business, she was my constant inspiration. And it came from her deep love for the scriptures, and she knew that God was in control. And she just kept impressing me with that. And that's why we had such a marvelous 66-year marriage. This was 45 years ago, and Eleanor and I, we still enjoyed holding hands. And we thought that this would be a nice part of the country to sort of buy an old homestead and just redo it and have it as a weekend getaway. We bought this, and it wasn't any time after that, and Eleanor said, you know, this is just too fine to keep for ourselves. We must share this. Almost from the first couple of years that we were here, Ellie just insisted that, no, we must share this place. It's too good to keep for ourselves. A Christian organization like A Rocha, they will emphasize their work based on creation care. Creation care implies that someone had to create this. And I don't know of any other organization that could bring out the creation aspect of this as well as a Christian organization. It behooves us to do this if we are believers and we read our Bible, and we are given to understand throughout the scriptures that we are to care for the creation. And this is one way of expressing that. Well, this part of Manitoba, first coming here, it looked very nice and fine, but we learned, especially this particular part, we discovered that this pristine setting is unmatched. And then we discovered that there were soil types here that aren't found elsewhere. And In this very place, there are 9 soil types that come together. This gives you 16 ecological zones, which makes it entirely unique. As a matter of fact, you can't duplicate this anywhere in Manitoba. It is sort of a focal point for the coming together of 3 major regions, like the boreal region and the prairie region and the superior region, let us say. And it's just the coming together here. And why the good Lord deposited these various soil types here is a mystery. I have sincere confidence in A Rocha being able to share this with the many young people that they will have coming out here. And they will learn firsthand what it is to have this peace and quiet, tranquility, and learn about the nature.
Walter Loewen is someone who is so dedicated and committed to this place and has already been stewarding it for, I think, over 40 years. And in a lot of ways, A Rocha is intending to just pick up the torch that way, that our intention is to steward it as the Loewens have stewarded it for so long, and to pay particular attention and make it accessible that people can actually engage it and experience God in this place.
It's an appreciation of his handiwork. It results in feeling so tranquil, so blessed. You're just relaxed in the arms of the Lord, as it were. And it's such a feeling that you can't express, and it results in a reflection in your own health and your own vision. My wife, Sweetie Pie, lived to be 88 years of age, and she's outlived all her friends. I'm going to be 90, and I'm still healthy and well. I attribute this largely to the peace and tranquility and serenity that we've enjoyed here for 45 years.